time frame.
Yes, I agree, and I agree, it's private business, but this is a business, if all your grocery
Yeah,
stores
it
closed,
involves
you're
that
gonna
too.
wanna know what's going on.
I
But,
totally agree with you on that.
the CON certificate, I believe y'all attended, the financing, was it discussed at the CON?
Why would they discuss that financing with?
I don't remember. I was
That
there.
CON
I was
is one of
there
the
too,
requirements
and
I was told.
I don't think the financing was discussed at the meeting.
Because they wanted the letters from the
Yes.
banks and what have you.
And basically, what it does, like you said, it gives them the right to go on and puts a stop on everybody else.
Yes, sir, and I called the board up there a while back, when we were at the committees and all that, and, they have, and Terry, you correct me if I'm wrong, but they have 6 months until they get a administrative extension.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, that is right.
And then after the extension, they got another 6 months, and then the board would have to approve the extension. But they have to show some little bit of movement
Correct.
to get this administrative
I think you're
extension.
There were people up there, I think that have been on their extension for like
Several years.
several years.
Yeah.
It's going on 10 years.
I
Yeah,
did,
that's why we need a time frame.
But I feel like, and it's the citizen, I feel like this time frame needs to come from the folks that's actually, it's their money, from Atlanta, not here
Correct.
locally. Let's get to
Correct.
either the owner or Miss Monica Tully, get an answer from them and hold them
Like I
to
said,
the fire.
the investment company or the general contractor, one of the two, should have a time frame.
this is the information I just got, because I want to try to answer your question the best I could.
Appreciate it.
They said they have 3 financial entities interested.
They had that for the several last.
I've heard that in
months.
November.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what they're saying.
Yeah,
And you're right, they have said that, but they have, well, no, I think in the beginning they were trying to do use local.
I
banks.
believe a couple of weeks ago was it not Stan Morris that told us they're down to 2, and they're pretty sure that they've secured the money?
They're down,
But Steve, I heard that in November.
that's,
I know.
that's an interesting point, because they're down to 2, but there's a third. I can't really say. that.
Well, but we're going back and forth for several months
Yeah.
now,
Sure,
and nothing is,
if I had $25 million, I'd give it to you.
And here's the thing, at our hospital committee meetings, I may be mistaken, but I'm fairly sure, I'm confident that I asked the question, what happens if the local banks do not follow,
yeah, I was there.
for the correct, for the right reasons, they declined it, because there's no collateral, they have no protection in our local banks. And the local banks, more than anyone financing, want to finance this to happen, because this is gonna make Kennett better, therefore make their business better. But,
I think we all want.
But we were told financing was approved. They had financing their stack and
And
they're ready to roll.
it should have been approved before the CON was in place.
I agree.
So the next day, they should have been ready to go to work.
I
They've
agree.
had plenty of time before the CON
I agree.
to secure the money and go on.
And right now,
Even if it was at a higher interest rate, if that's, it is what it is.
I agree completely. And right now, the
If you're
Kennett
committed to
does
do
not
a
have.
project, you can't just keep putting it off so you can find cheaper interest rate. That's not how you do business.
I agree 100%.
So there for a while, the hospital committee, which I'm on as well, was running parallel with these guys, and we were trying to seek other options. We put a RFP out, and we had quite a few responses, 4, I believe, up to 4, am I correct?
The local hospitals like
Yes.
Jonesboro or
Yes.
regional.
We had some other options, but since the CON was approved, then it was given to Billionaires Group, we stopped going parallel, and we're committed, and we're waiting for them to respond, and they're not giving us a time frame. That, to me, that is wrong. We've gotta have some kind of a time frame or something.
What local in Jonesboro do we have though? St.
Well, I don't have that email, I don't have my phone on me, I left it out in the
St. Bernard's
truck.
wanted $1 million a year from the city, right?
We're supposed to talk about it.
Oh, well,
But we did have other options, what I'm saying, and we put all those options on
It
hold.
is what it is, it should.
And we got on board with this group thinking that they will move forward, then we're not seeing any.
Well, we reluctantly got on board because there was no other option. They cut the corner.
Yes,
And they got the CON.
Correct.
It wasn't enthusiastic approval.
Yeah.
It was, I think, 7 out of 21 people voted for it.
Correct.
And the others just walked out because there's nothing else to do.
I'm wondering if to ask, maybe the mayor, being the head of our body here, if you could try to get some information, and maybe that, ultimately report back. May not get nothing,
I'll reach out to Monica.
but I'd ask you as the head.
Well, we've been asking for that information for several months now, and we're getting the same answer over and over, that
Sure.
there's work being done, but it's in a slow,
Sure.
it's moving slow. But at some point, it's gotta speed up, or it's gotta be outlined what's gonna happen and what time frame it's gonna
But see,
happen in.
the work that's getting done is not building a hospital.
No,
It's
Right.
tearing down a derelict building.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing. You know, it's not a hospital.
Yeah, it's not money spent, it's money actually being made out of the sale of copper or,
I think the paper article was, it might have been the air conditioner. It was loaded by a big crane and put on the truck. It probably was sold too, I would figure, but that's, I don't know their business. You know, not get into this.
Diesel tank.
Diesel
yeah.
tank?
I would like to see them move a little faster.
Sure, we all.
I just wanna know if there's funding. It might be next year, but if they confirm funding, then this is all for naught.
I mean, they ask us if the cotton complex, they could store some stuff they're getting out of there, they might be able to reuse, and we agreed.
And nothing's
And made
been
a
moved.
contract for $1 a year to try and help them, or they was gonna have to go elsewhere.
They're not gonna pull
So, I mean-
the windows out until it's.
And I believe the mayor came out and said that if we can help in any way, we're going, as a city, we're gonna do that.
Well, our city wants a hospital. We want them
Yeah.
to see if they can do
Yeah.
it. But if they can't do it, they need to
We
tell us.
wanted it years ago.
Exactly, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
This coming June, I believe, is 3 years.
Uh-huh.
So, all right, y'all, well, thank y'all.
Okay.
Thank you. Can we follow up on that and get a report by the next council meeting?
I'll reach out to him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I could, real quick, just say, Terry, correct me if I get any of this wrong, but I would just like to put out to the citizens of Kennett, because the first time that the walking trail was being constructed, there was talk as to why we were doing that and not doing other projects. The money to build the walking trail is from transportation sales tax, and it can only be spent on streets and sidewalks. Can't be spent for salaries, can't be spent for anything. In equipment, it can be spent for if it's to repair streets or sidewalks. Isn't that right, Terry? And if it's not 100% used for repair streets and sidewalks, then part of the money's gotta come from somewhere else. So you gotta figure it like a percentage of the time it's gonna be used for it. So the money for the hiking and biking trail is, that we're gonna match for the grant will be coming from transportation sales tax, and that's all it can be spent for. So that's why that will be spent for that. Just, I'm sure a lot of people don't know that, so I just wanted to let the citizens know that that can only be spent for that.
All right. 3 months. 3? 1? Okay. We'll adjourn this one and go into closed session. Motion.
Second.